Okay, one of my favorite topics to teach on in the Menstrual Coach Academy is a module that we cover at the end of our time together, which is called Trauma Informed Sales and Marketing. And this module is born out of my own experience, a lot of work that a lot of my mentors and people I follow have created. It's very, very hard to figure out how to do sales and marketing in a way that is in alignment with what you're selling if the thing that you're selling is a trauma informed service or practice or some sort of coaching. So here in the Menstrual Coach Academy, we're helping you to become and be trained in this skill and the art of menstrual cycle education, coaching, and facilitation. And then the question is, how do you then sell and market your services? So we're going to talk about that today. It's important that we find an alignment between the thing we sell and the way that we sell it. Okay. So some examples of non-trauma informed sales and marketing are things you've probably already seen before, where maybe a marketing coach tells you to push on pain points and to really push on the pain point as to why your client should sign up for work with you because of the cost of the pain that it will cause them. Okay, so pushing on pain points is where we are really focusing the narrative on the negative and the reason and the sort of the what might happen to them if they don't work with you. Okay, and it creates a lot of fear and urgency. So that's one thing to look out for. Another thing to look out for is um, creating false urgency in your marketing and in your sales. So um, just like false urgency around deadlines and that kind of thing that aren't actually true. Another thing to look out for is charging a lot of money for accessibility. So of course we want um our work to be accessible, but if we put a huge premium on payment plans, we're charging a premium to people who are struggling to be able to pay in full. So that can be a bit of an issue when it comes to trauma informed sales and marketing. And then the last one I've written down is using our privilege or false lifestyle on social media to sell a service. Okay, and that's something that I'm sure we've seen everywhere. Um, and we can get hooked into it and think, oh, if we buy this particular thing, then that's what my life will look like. But it's not the case. Okay, so these like tactics, these things that we have been taught or that you might see online can feel very disempowering, and it can lead people down the wrong path when it comes to looking for help for chronic pain or their menstrual cycle or some sort of health service. Okay, so the question I always ask myself instead, because it's hard to figure this stuff out when most business schools aren't teaching trauma informed sales and marketing. So we have to figure it out alone, and we are. But here's a question that we can ask ourselves, which is, how do I want my audience to feel before they even start working with me? So how do I want them to feel when they are looking at my marketing, when they're on my email list, when they're listening to my podcast, when they're on my social media? How do I want them to feel in my sales and marketing before they even work with me? And it's the same feelings that I want them to have when they work with me. So those are, I want them to feel safe, I want them to feel calm, I want them to feel my sense of calm that I have. I want them to feel informed, and I want them to feel empowered. So that's really all you have to do, is really ask yourself those questions and then ask yourself, how can you create content that will hopefully evoke those feelings and create those feelings. So I'll give you some examples that counteract the sort of the negative ones I just talked about. So if you have a course or a program starting, it is a good thing to have a deadline, because it does encourage people to sign up, and it might be a live class where it starts on a particular date. So giving them lots of time to decide and lots of information. So if you look at my website, the Menstrual Coach Academy, we have a whole website. We have pre-recorded webinars. We have something like a 20-page program booklet with loads of information. It's probably too much information, but some people really like reading all the information. So you give them lots and lots of time and lots of information so that they can sit down in their own time, in their own homes, and read through that information and make their own informed decision. So that's something that you can think about. And then in terms of deadlines, Give them lots of reminders of the deadline without placing false urgency. Just saying at the end of your email or in your social media marketing, the deadline is, and just continuously remind people so that it doesn't creep up on them. Another way to support your clients feeling empowered is to give them lots of value and examples of how you work. So rather than promoting your lifestyle or promoting a Cinderella story or promoting a false narrative or feeling pressure that you have to do that, you can give them your perspective, you can give them testimonials, you can give them examples of your work, you can showcase your skills. You can invite them into a free masterclass or webinar where they can have an experience of working with you. And so what you're doing is you're showcasing them your skills, your insights, your perspectives, your qualifications, your areas of interests, who you are, your personal journey as well. That's also really important. Instead of feeling pressure to have to like promote some sort of false lifestyle. And then I have as well for the payment plan piece, to either not charge for payment plans at all, which is what I do because I factor all my costs into my original pricing, or only charge for if you crunch the numbers and figure out the amount it actually costs you in time and in technology to charge for a payment plan, and to factor in maybe if people do drop off, factor all that into your pricing and do a test run of that and see how much does it actually cost you to offer payment plans. And very often when we offer accessibility, more people will sign up. People will like the fact that you do that, and they will appreciate it. I've had people say to me, oh, one of the reasons I signed up for your program, he says, because you don't charge extra for your payment plans, and that felt good for me. And last year I had a lady who said to me she felt empowered the whole way through her decision making process to purchase the course. And I was like, that's like the best testimonial I've ever gotten, that she felt empowered before she even started working with me. So that's kind of what I want you to think about, is how you can factor all that into your business model and into your sales and marketing. And yeah, so ask yourself the question, how do you want your clients to feel? And then show up like that in your sales and in your marketing. Give them the information, trust that they can make their own decision that in their own time with what it is that you're selling. And then lastly, I also want to say, in the women's health industry, there can be a bit of pressure to like keep prices really low and to not sell because selling is bad, and to not do marketing because we don't want to take up space or put ourselves out there. If we're asking our clients to value themselves, we also have to do that in our business model. We have to value our work. We have to value the fact that we need to put food on the table. We have taxes and bills to pay. You're creating a business. It's not a hobby. Maybe it is a hobby for now, but like if you want it to be a business, it's really important that we take ourselves as business people seriously, that we charge well for our work, that we we do our internal money work so that we're healing shame around that stuff, that we're practicing our sales and marketing skills. We're not putting pressure on ourselves to get it perfect either, but we're practicing it. We're learning along the way. And yeah, it's really important that if we are asking women to value their health, value their menstrual cycle, do the healing work, then we also have to do the same when it comes to our business and our marketing. Okay, so follow along for more and leave a comment if you want to share anything.